Hello all and welcome to another video in my journey to 1 Million Gamerscore series, and with February 2021 done and in the history books, it's time to bring to you all of the gamerscore that I did indeed get in February 2021, and it was largely an Xbox 360 month yet again, because I am still digging into that backlog, which was one of my main aims this year. But there's plenty of completions if you've got these Xbox 360 games, and there's also a couple of other games which were Windows 10 stacks, which can be done on your Xbox One/Xbox Series X, that were super easy and only took around about half an hour. So with that, let's go over to the gaming tab and indeed show you all of the gamerscore that I got in the month that was February 2021. And as usual, I like to do these in chronological order, and that starts all the way down here with Disney's Bolt. Now, I've had this one in the backlog a while. It was part of Games with Ghoul once upon a time, so I've only got the digital. I don't own it physically, so I still need it for the collection physically, which is slightly annoying now that I have done the game. This one, I didn't really enjoy this game that much. It will take a bit of time. I think it took around about the 10 to 12 hours marks. Couple of tricky-ish achievements, or ones that might annoy you a little bit. A 30-hit combo, I had to look up the solution on true achievements. There is a way of doing that quite easily, or relatively easy, with the final boss. So I would just suggest doing the entire playthrough there, and then nipping back and doing that 30-hit combo in the final boss. That once you've got all your sort of power-ups there, that will help a little bit as well, I do believe. It was a long time ago I played this, so you will have to excuse me. As you'll see, I stretched it out over 3 days, I do believe, because the last few achievements were done on the 3rd of February. And a couple of them that were a little bit annoying as well was to max out the power bar for Bolt and his health bar, and something for Penny as well. Max out her gadget bar, and when you play the levels with those in, there are hidden sort of capsules around the levels, and basically you have to find all of the ones that you can in all of the levels available, so that you can indeed do that. I did miss a few. A lot of them were very obvious, and you will find most of them by just exploring around the entire levels and just looking every sort of nook and cranny, but I still did that and still missed some. So I then had to look up a text guide again on TA to help me try and work out where I had missed them. Might be worth just reading each levels and where they are, so that you don't actually miss any as you progress through. Apart from that, you had to delete a certain amount of enemies with all of Bolt's abilities. That became quite easy once you've done it, and then obviously finding a nice spot where a lot of enemies are, because you can just level select once you have, well, not just beat the game, but actually beat that level. You can actually go back and nip in and out of levels. So if you do miss any collectibles or any sort of the things to help you power up, don't worry, you can go back and get it. It's not a difficult completion, it's just a little bit annoying with the collectibles as such, and yeah, it just takes a bit of time, and unfortunately didn't really enjoy the game. I didn't mind it so much when I was Penny and sort of traversed around the level with a tool that helps you navigate sections, but I didn't really enjoy the sections where I was playing as Bolt, and it just seemed to be quite monotonous and grindy and not a lot of variation there. Anyway, above that is, yes, Monster High, new Ghoul in the School. Oh, this one's a collectibles-a-thon. It's a fetch quest-a-thon. It's not difficult. It will take, again, around about 10 hours each, give or take a couple. Biggest piece of advice I can say with this one is on true achievements. A lot of the achievements are to do with collectibles. You have to find the 30 ghosts, I think it is, collectible spirit spiders, and another one which is, collectible dusty pennants. Now, to find those, it's pretty much every time you go into a new large room, there's going to be one in there at least. Normally one of each in there at least. There are a couple of other ones that are oddly random, scattered around the map and the school. I would say go on to TA, read the they tell you where they all are, and they're numbered. What I did was I wrote dusty pennants and the numbers, and then spirit spiders and all the numbers, and each number description I sort of crossed it off as I found it. I say I did that. What happened to me is I played through it once without doing that, and I found all the dusty pennants, and I was missing one spirit spider, and it became very annoying. Now, there's also, you have to find locker codes to be able to open the lockers, and in those lockers are some of the spirit spiders and dusty pennants. And what I was actually missing was one locker code and that locker had the Spirit Spider in it. So I just started again just so that I had the fresh list and knew that if I worked my way through the list and crossed them all off, I would find it. So there's a list for all the Dusty Pennants, a list for all the spiders, and a list for all the locker codes and what's in them on TA. Write all three out and just work your way through and cross them off when you find them. And cross them off when you've definitely found them. That way you'll know where they are. That was the one thing that cost me probably a couple of more hours playing this, because I basically just started a new game to find the last Spirit Spider to get that last achievement so I could get my completion out of this game. I mean, the rarity of some of these achievements is probably because people just haven't stuck with the game because it's not difficult. Again, another thing you'll have to do is grind out the currency in the game to obtain all the clothing items. Again, that took a while as well, so you might be stuck with that after you finish the game. Just make sure you're aware of coins and stuff and get them all when you see them. When the coins are floating through the hallway, try and collect them in the sequence from the first one to the last one as they float along the hallway. That will help get you some bonus coins as well. But everything else is pretty much progressional. There's some shortcuts in the game. I kind of accidentally did that. I think there's 3. You may want to look up a guide if you're struggling to find one of them, or all of them even. Who knows? But yeah, not difficult. Just let's say, unfortunately, a massively samey game as you're playing through it. It's very much a fetch quest with a ton of collectibles. But again, not difficult. But I would suggest making lists and crossing everything off and referring it to the numbers that the person has used on TA in making that list. So I played some Forza Horizon 2. Put quite a bit of time into that. I've actually Forza Horizon champion, done that on a low enough setting because I'm not that good at Forza. Well, certainly not at a high level anyway, but I do enjoy playing. I love the Horizons, certainly prefer them much more over the Motorsport. So that 490 is probably a good solid, I don't know, anywhere between 10 to 20. It's a massive margin, I can't remember. Anywhere between 10 and 20 hours is probably between 15 and 20 hours, if I'm being honest. A lot of time into it. There's multiplayer achievements in that, and the servers are still up, so maybe I should crack on with some more of that before they go down. But yeah, what I've got out of that 490, fun, not difficult. Certainly you play it at a low enough level and just buy nice cars. Okay, so play this with some fellow tubers and friends of mine because it's a 4-player co-op game and managed to do a couple more achievements in this. It's been sat dormant for a couple of years. It was Games of Gold once upon a time. I believe that's why I've got it. Just able to do a couple of achievements that I couldn't do before, or certainly were a lot easier with people, like killing 4 enemies with a pot. You just get someone to attract Adlo next to them while you've picked up a pot, and then you can throw it at them. And if there's, I think a friend of mine had 4 around him. I was able to throw a pot at him. Someone might have 30 around them for all, and hopefully they'll manage to hit at least 4 when they chuck a pot at 30 of them. But, you can gather big, large groups of them, and yeah, that was certainly helpful. It was fun just to play with friends, and I think I only added around about, 45G. I think it was 315G achievements, something like that. Didn't actually play any Streets of Rage 4. We was looking at a way of playing 3-player games, and I didn't know if Streets of Rage 4 was a 3-player game or not. It is literally just a 2-player co-op. I should have known that, really. Truck Racer. Fun game. Unfortunately, this game isn't easy to find and is not cheap to find either, but I was very fortunate in having this game from an eBay lot, which I bought in the past. Not difficult in a way to just progress through as long as you keep on top of upgrading your truck. That is the key thing there. Once you've upgraded your truck and it's, basically got top whack on everything, then the flat out races, even on when it says expert and 3 laps and all that sort of stuff, it actually becomes real easy. Time trials were a bugger. I must admit, being not that good at racing games, time trials were a bugger. So when I had those, it was difficult. I would implore you as you're playing through just to keep trying until you get first on everything, because you'll need to be first on everything to get the platinum trophy, or whatever it's called, platinum trucker. There we go, platinum trucker achievement there. And then just make sure you've driven all the trucks as well. So I would stick with your one truck and soup it up, and then just make sure you do a race with all the other trucks. There are a couple of online achievements. The servers are still up. Not many people are playing it. I was very fortunate. My good friend Ross of Bawhawhaw had this game and was able to boost them with me. So it's not difficult, but you'll need someone to boost with, and obviously you'll need the game as well. And if you haven't already got it, it's a tough one to track down, certainly for cheap as well. We're talking around about the £40 mark, I would say, at the moment. Okay, so what have we got above that? Load up, please. Seen it, box office smash. Now this was actually nearly done. I also I also harassed Ross into boosting with me on this one because I'd done the majority of the offline achievements, with the exception of a couple for doing certain types of questions without failing. I was able to get them done while I was constantly just messaging Ross, please press start again, because I had to win 10 online games. So I was just, he wasn't playing it, but he was just pressing start on his controller every time I messaged him. So bless him for helping us out there. That is the base 1000 done, so it's technically a completion without the DLC. I know it counts as a completion on TA. So yep, thank you Ross for that one too. Now The Wolf Among Us, I really enjoyed doing this on the one. It has 1000G attached to it on the one, however it only has 500G attached to it if you buy the physical version, which you can do for the Xbox 360. And if you do buy the physical version, it's not a season pass, it's all on there. There are 5 episodes and each episode has 100G attached to it, so I've got a completion on that, but it's not 1000G. Each one takes around about 2 to 3 hours. You do have to unlock all of the fables, and in some cases it requires you to just click on certain things, and in some cases at the end of an episode do both alternative bits. So what I was doing, I remember that from last time. So like at the end of episode 1, you get the option to basically rip the arm off this beast or not. So, but each one unlocks an entry in the Book of Fables. So what I would do is do the one that you don't want to progress the storyline with, and then instantly go back and replay the end of that chapter. You don't have to replay the whole chapter or episode, whatever it's called, again. You can just play that last section again, and then do the other option, and that way you'll sort of do the fables as you go along, because there is an achievement for getting all of the fables in each episode, so that's why you want to do that. But if you just keep, just look that up, make sure you do that, and then you'll be fine. It's not a tough completion, just a little bit to be aware of, but you can, if you miss any fables, you can just look them up and still jump back to where they were. Right, Rise of Guardians, easy game, monotonous game. Unfortunately, it is a Diablo clone where you'll press A hell of a lot, and you'll do a lot of the same sort of missions on different maps. But once you do, but it's literally, play through the game, press A hell of a lot, mix it up by pressing B. The last achievement, I must admit, this one here, destroy one of each type of champion nightmare. That should have been done on a natural playthrough, but unfortunately I was missing one. But when you play through it, you unlock these sort of like challenge modes, and you can go into one of those challenge modes and just take on champion nightmare enemies, and that was where I was able to get that last one done. But everything that you have to find and collect is actually visible on a map. So just make sure every time you go to an area on a map, you clear everything out, find everything, beat everything, and things like that. It really is just a case of playing through them all. There's a couple of other random achievements. One is for spinning the globe on the pause menu, so just remember to do that. But as I say, you'll get most of it just by playing through. It's not difficult. We're talking 6 to 8 hours to get the job done, but man, you're going to get a repetitive strain injury by pressing A hell of a lot. Trust me. Okay, above that, Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs. This is a nice, easy one. I actually quite enjoyed this. It was fun. I don't know why there's no thumbnail there. It's pretty much a 3D platformer, and in each of the levels that you play, you have to smash up and find all these pieces of food. Some nuts, some ice cream you have to melt, and things like that. You're equipped with a tool with this guy, and you can upgrade it. And then once you can upgrade it more as you progress along, and it's a little bit more powerful. Whatever the weapon is sometimes lasts longer and things like that. Not difficult. Some of the things you cannot get in the early levels, but you can go back, and it's a lot easier once they're upgraded. Like there's this ice cream blob on the top of an ice cream truck in one of the very first levels, and I couldn't get to it by jumping, and my gun wouldn't melt it if I just jumped and aimed it at it. But once I'd upgraded it to a level 3 heat gun and gone back, jumping up and pressing heat on it was enough to melt it. So there's the odd one or two things, so don't panic too much if you can't find all of the pieces of food. You can go back and mop it up quite easily. But to be honest with you, not a lot excuse me, not a lot of help needed with this one. It's just a case of play through and find everything, and if you do get stuck without finding any pieces of food, there is walkthroughs on YouTube. I must admit there was one piece of food in one level for some reason I couldn't find, and I was just like, that seems so obvious now. But there you go. Anyway, easy 1000G, and not a long one either. Play some Gears of War 2 with some friends. I am needing to level up for a couple of the last remaining achievements in this game, which is going to take a god-awful long time. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm always down for playing a bit of Horde with my friends on Gears 2, and that's what I did one night. So we chipped away at getting up one level, but didn't even go up one level. I'm in that sort of area, unfortunately. Okay, above that, one of the Windows 10 stacks, King of Fighters 2002. I've done this before on the Xbox One, so you can obviously play it on the Xbox One Series X, and also you can stack it on your Windows 10 if you have that. Honestly, jump kick, low sweep kick, that'll get you through the fights. If you win your first 2 fights with your first character defeating all of your 3 opponents without obviously losing a character, you get a straight bonus. And to be honest with you, using this jump kick, low kick method will get you through the first 2 fights and pretty much get you there in caravan mode and set you well on your way in high score mode. Will knock the level down in original mode, and you go in for, honestly, not difficult. My team was Joe, Benimaru, and Joe pretty much done the job for me a lot. Okay, Tetris Evolution, 2 online achievements in that. One was difficult to do just because you had to have some. I had to have my friend again, Ross, not get lines and then get 1 line only at a time while I sent lines across. Yeah, I did the sending lines. I had to send 20 lines across, but if he sent any back, it neutralised the ones I sent him. Pain in the arse to do, but he grinned and bared it. We spent about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes one night, and we got it done. The other one is just for winning an online match. So we've got the 2 online ones done on that. That's all set up for me. Not to need to worry about any connectivity, server issues and stuff like that in the future if I want to go for the 1000G. I'm also still boosting F1 2010. I now have the viral achievement online for beating someone that has the viral achievement. So that was pretty swish. Above that is this funny one about this Neo Geo King of Fighters 2003. I did a guide on this on how in a series I used to do called All the Pops, and I'd forgotten what I did, so I went back and watched my own guide and was able to do it. So I'm going to put a link to that guide in the description, by the way. And I was just able to do it again on the Windows. Obviously, back when I done it and was checking for stacks, the Neo Geo games on the Windows 10 were behind the ones in the store by quite a bit, and I hadn't been on the store for ages, so I've done all the other King of Fighters apart from these 2 stacks, and I was just like, I'm going to stack these 2 because I do like my beat-em-ups. I do like the King of Fighters franchise, so it was no chore doing it. But yeah, if you pick Joe and pretty much mass Y, you'll be fine. If you lose Joe, have your second character as Benimaru. He does his jump spin drill because you get all your points for performing combos, and each hit is 100 points. That is how the point system in that works. I hate it. I really hate it, but that's how it works. And yeah, I was able to go back, use my own video to help me get this because it had been maybe nearly a couple of years, I suppose, since I'd done that video. So thank you, me. Okay, above that, Dirt. This one took a long time, but I was prepared to do it. It took a long time because buying all 46 cars, you have to accumulate quite a bit of money. So after what I did, the other achievements are pretty much winning everything in career mode, like winning certain tiers you get up to, winning each certain types of race, all of them in the career mode, and specific races as well, like their global. Actually, that's a different one. But yeah, a lot of it's through career mode, and you can just knock it on rookie. And even I'm terrible. I'm not great at driving games. I'm the worst at rally games. And I was able to. What I did is I just put it on rookie and played all the way through it, just to make sure that I was going to get through it and do all progressional related achievements. I drove nearly 500 miles doing that. That's a key thing, by the way. Drove nearly 500 miles doing that thing, like doing it like that. But I raised a fair bit of money, but I then had to go back and play at other levels to win cash, win more cash, and play events. The horrible thing about this is if you win an event, place first, next time you go back to it, the cash price is significantly ruined. So like it'll be 100,000 first time, and then you'll go back and if you go back and do it again at the same level, it'll just be like 17,000. It's like what? But so you have to sort of knock the levels up and go back to the races you can do and really work on the money. The money was the tough part. You have to drive 1,000 miles. Just start up any race and rubber band your right trigger. Yeah, and I worked out if I left it for about 6 hours just driving in a small section in a straight line and having it reset added about 200 miles. I mean, I did that before I did that. So maybe you want to do that first and leave 1,000 miles to last. But I just thought, why not? If I'm not doing anything and I can leave it running, I will. These other there's some other rally championships. I think it's Global Rally Championship and another two, international and European. They're outside of the career mode. They will be super easy again if you just bung them on rookie. Honestly, that's all I did. There are a couple of online achievements. Thank you again, Ross. And yeah, you might need to boost your partner for that because again, the servers are still alive, but there's just not many people playing it. It's win one type of race and a hill climb race, and the other another type of race. And also do one clean online as well. So have a friend of yours drive nice and slowly for you so you can not only beat them but take extra care not to hit the sides and then do the other type. You can actually vote, so if it's just you two in there, just vote for the same one and you will get the same one. So yeah, not tough to do, will just take a lot of time. Honestly, probably, I don't know, around about 25-hour mark, give or take a bit all told, but I enjoyed it, and I say it's just very, very doable, that one. Okay, so what have we got above that? I just played a little bit of Zuma. This is part of Game Pass because the EA's on there. You're that little frog, get 3 in a row and things like that. Just a couple of achievements which just happened by me having a little bit of fun. I finished one world and did a couple of accumulative things. That 200G looks like it could be a bit tricky and take a little bit of time, but I'll probably play that a little bit more and hopefully have a little bit more soon. And then finally above that, Under Defeat HD Deluxe. This one I finished on the very last day of February, but did tick over into midnight. That's why it will say the 1st of March there by about 20 minutes. So yes, so unfortunately you have to finish the game in each difficulty because it doesn't stack. So you'll have to finish the arcade mode and what the other one is called, New Order. You'll have to finish that at each difficulty, and then once you finish it, you will unlock the extra mode for each, which isn't unlocked to start with. What makes this game, or what can make this game really easy, if you're prepared to do it, which is what I did a lot of, is you get an extra credit for every hour you play, and you have to do this in both modes. You can't just do it once and you'll get it in both modes. For every hour you play, you get an extra credit. You only start with 2. And then obviously if you play it for an hour, you'll get 3 and it will stay there forever. It will be saved. Once you get to 9, which is obviously 9 hours, and then do a 10th hour switches it onto free play. And then free play means becomes easy because you can obviously not worry about running out of credits. That way you can finish the easy, the medium, the normal even, and the hard, and just blast your way through both modes, both extras and things like that. Another trick which I learned is that if you plug in a second controller and press start, as long as you don't both die at the same time, you won't get reset to a checkpoint. Because if you do die, you get reset to a checkpoint, but not right to the beginning of the level. If you've got a second controller and you lose all of your lives, you don't go back to the checkpoint if the other controller is still alive. And also, you can whack away at bombs on it, so that will really help as well. That will certainly be a massive help when it's on hard and the final boss. You do not want to keep restarting that again, because I had to go him on easy on my own, and it was tough. So yeah, I did use the 2 controller trick on that. But bear in mind, if you want to do the trick on getting free play, that's 10 hours on each mode without doing anything. There are a couple of other achievements for doing random things, like finish a level without losing a life. So just do that on the first one with a bit of practice and a bit of bombs. Finish a level without missing an enemy. So what I did was do the first level and use my bombs, and when I ran out of bombs I strategically died so that when I came back to life I had some more bombs and was able to kill everything on screen if there was a lot again. And there's also one achievement for finishing a level without dying at all, basically. So first level, bit of practice, perhaps use a second controller on easy. First level, you can whack away at bombs and hopefully that will distract whatever's trying to shoot you to that as well. So, not a tough completion, believe it or not. Just a few tricks to help you along the way and a lot of time to put in it. A playthrough takes about 35 minutes, I worked out. So, you've got to do 3 playthroughs on each mode, so that's 6. And then a playthrough on extra on each mode. So, what's that? 8 playthroughs. So, there you go. So, another 4 hours. So, if we, just in case you struggle with a couple of those extra ones and you need to go back, we'll call it around about, 15, 16 hour completion if we add a little bit on top of it. But a fun shooter. And that is everything. That is everything that I have got in the month that was February 2021. And next month, or this month, as of time of recording, March the 1st, I will probably be hitting even more 360 because, as I say, I really want to hit that backlog. I have so many games. I've made a nice chunking little dent out of it, but I want to hit more, so there's going to be plenty more 360 next month. I will try and chuck in the odd Series X and One stuff because I know a lot of people come for that and want to know where the easier ones there are. But I am very focused on the 360. There will be a month this year. I don't know when I'm going to pull it, what month I'm going to choose, but it's going to be a big month. I'm going to beat my personal best for Gamerscore, which is only 44,000. I'm going to make sure I get past 50,000, and I am going to absolutely have a hell of a month. Hopefully, that is the plan. While I play for 360, I've got a load of list of games that I want to play. Hopefully we can do that. That month will probably have to be 2 parts, or hopefully it will be 2 parts because I've done that many. Watch this space. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Subscribe if you're new and all that jazz. Thank you very much for listening. And as always, please do take care.